All right, let us move on. Should be another fun one. We got the Panthers traveling to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Chiefs covered, by the way, that 21 points. I think it was down to 19 and a half. Chiefs covered the 21 points against the Jets, and man, it was awesome watching Patrick Mahomes do his thing. Threw for 5 touchdowns. Panthers, Chiefs favored by 10. It's actually ticked up to 10 and a half. But the interesting part about it, 50-50 split on the bets. More money is actually coming in on the Panthers. Not too much more. It's 60-40. Actually literally just moved and is now exactly 60-40. But that still, again, made the line move to 10 and a half, which is interesting. Usually you see the opposite. Over under a 52 and a half, almost 100% of the money is coming in on that over. I love that. How do you feel about this Panthers team? Plus 10 and a half going to Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes, what do you got?
Yeah, I like the over there too. That's a little low.
Right. Well, it opened over opened at 50.5 and it's gone up to 52.5.
Yeah,
So
good point.
You got it early.
Good point. Yeah. I like I mean, if you're getting 10 and a half, to me, that's a little giftish. I listen. So E-Tip talked about it last week. The defense for Carolina has some injuries. I mean, Matt Ryan and company made them look kind of bad, even in some bad weather yesterday. Last Thursday.
Yep.
And that's a problem, but their offense gets Christian McCaffrey back. They have a full complement of Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, and of course, Robbie Anderson. So I think they're going to be able to move the ball just fine. This Kansas City defense, you can A, run on them, and B, you can kind of pass on them too. So 10 and a half, I mean, to me, this is one of those, I always say like a worst case scenario is a backdoor cover, like let's put it this way. We had a line where the Jets were 19 and a half point favorites, underdogs to the Kansas City Chiefs. Same exact situation, different team, much worse team. So imagine Carolina's down 17 late in the game. what are the chances of that? And B, what are the chances they're not going to get some sort of backdoor cover there?
Exactly.
It just seems like even if it gets out of hand, they'll be able to catch up a little bit.
100%. Yeah, I think Carolina does cover, especially with Christian McCaffrey coming back. You can run on the Chiefs, as we've said multiple times, and you'll see it all year. I think the Panthers are worse than we thought when they were 3-2.
True.
I do think the Chiefs win comfortably, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it will. 10. I wouldn't even say 10 is like a comfortable win. It's 2 possessions in the NFL. That's nothing really crazy, but I don't think it's ever going to feel like it's really in danger for the Chiefs, if anything at all. So definitely with you there. And as we both said, let's take the over, because Patrick Mahomes and Joe Brady, pretty much, as I said last week, pretty sure it's Joe Brady, not Teddy Bridgewater, doing any of that. So it's interesting.
One thing to note, and this really probably shouldn't come into play, and it was a threat last week, and it really didn't come into play, but I'm looking at the weather here for the Chiefs game. So it's the weather's going to be fine in terms of the temperature, but you're looking at 18 mile per hour winds, and that is such a guess on a Wednesday, obviously. Yeah. But if that were to kick up to like 20 or something like that, it's just something to keep an eye on, particularly from a DFS standpoint. Now, the thing I'll tell you is we saw what Mahomes did last week. Well, that was supposed to be a bad weather game too, with high winds. Now, granted, by the time it was near kickoff, everybody knew the winds in that particular game were going to be down. But really, of all the wind games last week, and I think this is important to mention from a lines and a DFS standpoint, there were about 5 of them that had somewhere between 15 and 25 mile per hour expected winds. Only one of them really affected the game, and that was the Cleveland Vegas Raiders game. Other than that, even the ones that actually did have some legitimate wind, the offenses were able to pass the ball down the field. I mean, Green Bay was one of them. He was hitting Devontae like he always does. And we talked about that, intermediate route guy, short route guy. But I guess the lesson there is, unless the winds are really bad, kind of don't worry about it, both from a DF. I mean, Tyreek Hill got hit for like 2 long touchdowns in Kansas City games. And that was supposed to be a game where there was, relatively high winds. So unless it's like 18 to 20 to 25, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, that I would say that. And also I think we would both agree. Baker and Derek Carr don't quite have the same arm strength that Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers do. They throw rockets. And yeah, I'm not saying Derek Carr and Baker throw ducks by any stretch of the words. Obviously, some come out, they look like that, but they're not quite rockets like out of Mahomes. And so I think they can cut through it. Also, of note, the Cleveland Browns Stadium is literally on the water. I don't know why anybody thought that was a good idea, but it's like, hey, here's this lake. Let's put a stadium directly next to it. I don't understand that. I was in Cleveland last year for the Bills, the Buffalo Cleveland game. It was awesome. Cleveland won. that was great. But whose idea is that? I don't.
Well, the best place for a Cleveland Browns game is not Cleveland, in my opinion. But that's just my take there. I hope CJ isn't a Cleveland Browns fan.
CJ, are you a Cleveland? What about you, S guy? Are you a Cleveland Browns fan? I don't know. Well,